Today's video about autophagy and why we need it to live longer. So you know, of course, from even from school, that we have such cells which are phagocytes in our blood. So they are responsible to kill and to bacteria and inside our body, and they have receptors which can recognize is it our proteins or it is some foreign proteins. So then if it is bacterium, they produce some vessel, some cavity with the bacterium inside, and when this cavity getting in contact with lysosome, it is another cavity which is filled by enzymes and ferments, and it has acidic environment inside, so that enzymes can digest the bacterium. So when the bacterium is they virtually cut the bacteria to small pieces, to amino acids and to fatty acids and simple sugars, and then discharge this to outside to our blood, so that other cells can use this as nutrients to grow and to get energy. The basic idea behind autophagy is that in absence of external sources of food, our body begins to eat itself, destroying and recycling our damaged cells, such cells which are not in use at the moment, cells, bits, and some proteins, and so that new and healthy versions of cells can be built, and then the energy can be produced from also from these recycled materials. At this slide, we see the schematically animal cell is presented. We see the nucleus, and it has organelles inside. So that, for example, we will put attention to Golgi apparatus, and to this rough endoplasmic reticulum, and also to mitochondria. Mitochondria, as you know, it is power plants which are by oxidation in mitochondria, fatty acids and glucose are converted to energy, to molecules of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And we have these organelles which are produce enzymes, and these enzymes are packed in Golgi apparatus and Golgi body, and packed so that they are packed inside the membrane, and this is a membrane from phospholipids. Phosphoric acid is outside, lipids are inside as hydrophobic molecules. And then we have this membrane, and inside we have acidic environment and enzymes. And enzymes can work only in acidic environment, and they cut proteins to amino acids, they cut fat to fatty acids and glycerol, and they cut complex carbohydrates to simple glucose and fructose. When the cell does not get any energy sources from outside, then the cell produces such cups with such cups that and marking and also marking some organelles, damaged organelles and proteins with so that when the cup get in contact with such organelle, for example, it is growing and producing the cavity, and inside of this cavity these organelles are located, and then when it gets in contact with lysosome is filled with enzymes and acidic environment inside. So then the enzymes will cut this organelle to pieces and producing amino acids, producing fatty acids, and producing glucose for further consumption. Here it is in steps. First, such initiation of the cups is produced. Then, when it is getting in contact with damaged organelles, then it is expanding, producing a cavity, such a cavity that get in contact with lysosome and fusing together, and then the process of digestion starts, and up to this complete conversion of the material inside to simple nutrients, and then the nutrients are discharged inside the cell. So we can classify this autophagy in several ways. It is macro autophagy. Macro autophagy is when the organelles and pieces are large enough, and then they come inside the lysosome, and then they're consumed. Or it can be some large proteins also converted to inside the lysosome to amino acids. Or it can be micro autophagy. Autophagy, it is if it is a pieces of organelle or some a little bit smaller pieces of a little smaller pieces of organelles, or maybe even dead bacteria, then it can be also digested inside. And also interesting point, it is that chaperone mediated autophagy, it is autophagy of single proteins. Proteins have to be unfolded first, and then they're coming through very narrow gate inside the lysosome, and inside the lysosome the proteins are cut to amino acids. And what it is also necessary to say that lysosomes can consume even the cell itself. So if they come in contact, for example, with nucleus, and there is and this nucleus is marked as unnecessary organelle, then they consume even nucleus and they destroy the cell. So then the cell is destroyed, and then these nutrients are discharged to outside, and so that other cells can use these nutrients to produce energy and to grow. Especially, for example, if you are not making exercises but in fasting, then some cells or muscular cells will be destroyed in such way because you don't use them now, and then your body always tries to save energy, and instead of keeping the muscle cells alive and muscle cells existing, they just consume it as food, and then discharge the nutrients so that other muscles, like the muscles of your heart and other important organs like your brain, can use these nutrients to produce energy and to function. At this scheme, it is quite complicated. People try to show connections between some proteins, how they can start autophagy. So first we do not have any supply of food from outside. This is the condition. Next condition, it is exercising. Exercise, especially high intensity interval training, is very helpful to initiate autophagy. And metformin, it appears so that metformin as a medicine, it is blocking production of glucose in our liver from glycerol, from glycogen, and also from fat. And then as we have no glucose in blood, level of glucose very low, then this autophagy can be initiated by metformin. And here we see resveratrol. Resveratrol, again, I will come to this resveratrol later on, because this is important subject and some news about this. Also, some substance like medicine, actually, rapamycin. Rapamycin, it is I don't have it at the moment. I didn't try, but it looks it is very interesting medicine, which is working of mTOR. mTOR is such a protein, such substance which ignites growth of the cell. And if mTOR is activated, then instead of autophagy we have cell growing. And the mTOR is activated when we have enough of nutrients coming from outside. If we have amino acids, if we have energy from outside, mTOR is activated and is blocking autophagy. So to deactivate mTOR, we need this medicine, for example, rapamycin. Rapamycin, I don't know, maybe if I can find it, I will try, but to the moment not. Metformin also appears so that it is important to activate sirtuins. Sirtuins are proteins which help to read genetic code properly. So they are absolutely necessary for rejuvenation. And again, we need exercises, and we need substance which is present in resveratrol. We come into this again just soon. So this I tried. I would recommend you to watch this video. This is the name. You can Google it, and you can find it at this moment. At this moment, David Sinclair, Dr. David Sinclair, our guru in rejuvenation, confess that his research about resveratrol was not complete. He is recommending to everybody to use resveratrol, and then he consumes every day, and his father consumes resveratrol 1 gram a day. And but then it appears so that the active substance in resveratrol is actually such fatty acid like oleic acid. Oleic acid mostly comprised in olive oil. Olive oil has more than 70% of oleic acid. So if instead of resveratrol you buy just olive oil, good quality, cold extraction olive oil, you can consume a gram or two of this olive oil at morning, the same as he does himself with resveratrol. At morning he starts his day with the coffee and resveratrol, or maybe not coffee but yogurt. And then he said that this is to activate sirtuins. We see here that resveratrol initiates sirtuins, but it seems so that not resveratrol, but this fatty acid, oleic acid in some small amount, activates sirtuins. So, and you can save money, and also it is also necessary to say that that oleic acid is quite common in many animal fats, like butter. Cow butter, for example, is a lot of oleic acid is in cow butter, in good quality cow butter, or otherwise if it is not present, like cheaply and reliably, like I'm staying in Thailand, and then here you cannot buy good quality butter, and cannot buy good quality cow milk, raw milk. And then what I did, I produced tallow, and tallow has more than 40% of this oleic acid. And I start my day, so I make with the blender, I made some such smoothie, or not, it's actually just a cocktail of tallow, a few grams of tallow, and with caffeine, and bone broth, a little bit. So I use it as for electrolytes. Mostly I use magnesium salts and sodium salts. And to start my day, I started from this, a cup of this cocktail. And then I believe in my case it is the most cheap and most convenient way to activate sirtuins, because next I go to physical exercises, I ride bicycle, and then it is all work together, exercises, and then this, instead of resveratrol, I use this oleic acid, and then metformin I consume at night. So, but yet it is not completely but yet it is used, not completely removed from body. So I believe, I don't know, maybe I have to use metformin at morning instead of evening. So I have to think about this. Maybe I have to compare this and that. Rapamycin, I don't know how to get it, but it seems so that it is very interesting substance, very interesting medicine, which can help to block mTOR, which can ignite autophagy. So autophagy seems so that it is a process which degrades intracellular components which are not in use through lysosomes. Lysosomes are some cavities filled with acidic environment inside, and with enzymes. And then it is maintaining energy homeostasis inside the cells, and the renewal of organelles, because damaged and the organelles are consumed, and instead a cell is producing new organelles. And the mounting evidence exists that autophagy plays a key role in aging and aging-related diseases. Enhanced autophagy can delay the diseases and prolong lifespan. The absence of the autophagy leads to accumulation of mutant and misfolded proteins in the cell, which is the base of the emergence and development of neurodegenerative diseases and other aging-related diseases. So I try to do it properly. As I said, I combine exercises. Here I combine exercises, I combine with metformin, I combine with this tallow to get oleic acid, and then I use a ketogenic diet, and I use intermittent fasting, so I eat only once a day, or actually interval between eating about 18 hours. And it is in experiment, it is necessary at least 16 hours between the meals to ignite the autophagy. Otherwise, it is not working. Okay, then this what is my information and news about resveratrol, that it is not necessary to waste your money on resveratrol. Instead, you can buy good quality olive oil, or if it is not available, just use tallow or butter, good quality butter. So the material I used in this video a lot of some images and the material which from other websites, and as my purpose was only educational, informational, scientific purpose, so I do not have any financial interest. I do not sell any products. I do not make any advertisement. So I don't have any financial interest. So I do not violate copyrights of the other people. And if you have time and patience to watch the video, please comment, subscribe, and ask questions and share information. I believe this very important, that igniting of the autophagy is very important. You can do it with ketogenic diet almost every day. So if your fasting time is longer than 16 hours, or 16 hours and longer, you can ignite this autophagy in your body, and you can virtually rejuvenate your cells on everyday basis, on every day. So you are getting not older, you are getting younger this way. So, and some such substances like metformin are important. Maybe again you need other substances, and as I said in my other videos, you need substances to produce hormones, because hormones regulate all our body. And maybe this DHEA, I take it at morning, DHEA, and also vitamins. And vitamins, because this NMN, what David Sinclair is using himself, it is just some sort of some variety of vitamin B3. And B3 you can consume as niacin or nicotinic acid, or you can use it as an amide of nicotinic acid, niacinamide, maybe with some restrictions, because NMN work better. It has less toxicity, but it has less toxicity probably because molecular weight of the molecules are higher. And then if you consume the same 1 gram of this NMN, it is equivalent to much smaller portions of nicotinamide. So maybe it needs some research. I don't know yet myself, but I try to learn about, to make my own research. Could instead NMN, which is relatively expensive and relatively unstable to conditions, so you have to save it in cold, dry space. Instead, we can probably use nicotinamide, which is much more stable in environment, and then maybe in smaller doses, of course. So, and if consume nicotinamide in doses like 1 gram, it is equivalent to MNN a few grams. Okay, we have to calculate how much, but it is few grams, 3 grams or maybe more of the vitamin B3. So then you see that maybe there is a way to save money and then to get your health improved in this way. So, and again, so metformin is important, exercises are important, and then for autophagy, intermittent fasting. So please mind to keep this component of your life, and then you will certainly will gain will gain from it, and you can certainly extend your lifespan. But okay, mostly I have my own interests to extend my longevity, and but I would appreciate if you comment, subscribe, and ask questions and share information. It will help me to make my research deeper. Maybe you will ask some interesting questions, and it will motivate me to do it further. Okay, thank you again, and have a wonderful day.